it was on one of the flights back to the yacht in December that I'm sat in the departures lounge at Warsaw Airport, and I just suddenly thought, what am I doing? Welcome back to Work on a Super Yacht. I really hope that you've all been keeping well for this past year. Please excuse my silence. I've got a lot to update you on, and so I think I'll just run through a summary of the last year, and then there's a little bit at the end that I think needs some further explanation, so I shall unpack that for you. So, last video was March 2022. At the end of March, I landed myself another job. Second officer position, motor yacht, over 50 metres, private and charter. And I joined them at the beginning of April, finished up a shipyard period, and then in June embarked upon what I can safely say was the most challenging summer season of my career. It really was a tough one for a variety of reasons, but lots of good experiences, lots of lessons learned, and in July I was actually promoted to chief officer. So that was something very unexpected. We did about, 6-7 weeks of charter, about 4 weeks of owners trips, and finished up the season in September. We were based in Greece for the entirety of that period. September, met my now girlfriend, very happy about that. October, back to the shipyard, yacht comes out of the water, and end of October I finally got away from the yacht for about 6 or 7 weeks for some much needed holiday, and also a time to reflect on a few things. Rejoined the yacht in December. January, finally came to the conclusion that I don't want to work on yachts anymore. Yeah, that's the end of the line for that one. And April, this month, finally finished up my notice period, and just 2 weeks ago I stepped off the yacht, and now I don't have a job. And everything's wide open. So, doesn't want to work on yachts anymore. What's that all about? Yeah, what's up with that? He set up a YouTube channel, spends 1, 2, 3 years telling us how to get started in the industry, what to do, all the rest of it, and then he quits? Cheeky. Yeah, I know this might seem a bit strange, or maybe not. Maybe it's not out of the blue. Maybe you guessed that, seeing as I stopped making videos that I'd stopped working on yachts. But although it might seem strange, this has been a long time coming, and if I go back to 2020, when I started this YouTube channel, there were 2 main reasons that I did it. One was a selfish reason. I did it for me because at that point, even then, I was looking at my life and starting to think, I don't know if I want to do this for much longer, or at least I don't know how much longer I want to be doing this. But I had a feeling that I think many yacht crew have, that I couldn't do anything else. You know, what else was I going to do? I didn't just want to go and get a normal job, shall we say, and I didn't know how to transfer any of my skills. I was also getting paid good money. I didn't have any expenses. You know, how was I going to replicate the lifestyle that I'd come to enjoy, or at least the financial aspect of enjoyment? I didn't enjoy the lifestyle itself. That was the problem, but I was enjoying having the money and not having to worry about those sorts of things. So I started the YouTube channel as a way to explore another avenue, to learn some new skills. It was a good challenge especially during COVID when nothing was going on. And that was the first reason. The second reason, I did it for you guys because I didn't want you to fall into the same trap as I had done, which was, 20, 25, join the yachting industry. Isn't this great? And it is. Good money, traveling the world, exciting things going on here, there, everywhere, lots to tell family and friends about. And you just think that it's going to be like that forever. But it isn't. And I think one of the reasons that it isn't is because you get older. I'm not old, but I'm 36 next month. And do not underestimate the significance of that. Priorities change. And without any real conscious thought on my part, my priorities have just shifted. And all of a sudden, the things that attracted me to yachting, I just don't get excited about them anymore. And so I didn't want you to fall into the same trap as I had of thinking it would last forever. And as a result, not really pushing on with the qualifications as quickly as I could have done, not rising up through the ranks as quickly as I could have done, not getting as much experience as I could have done, and not getting or making as much money as I could have done. Basically not feeling like I'd made the most of the opportunity, and I didn't want that for you. I thought, if I can give back anything, it's that this yachting industry, working as yacht crew, it's a great opportunity. But please make the most of it, because this feeling that I have, it's coming for you. Maybe not now, maybe not in 5 years, but it's coming. And there are some people who spend their whole careers working on yachts, and they're very happy doing it. And that's great. But I knew back then that wasn't going to be me, Chief officer was probably going to be my limit. I was never wanting to necessarily become a captain and kind of keep doing it into the next stage of my life. So I wanted to have options, and at the same time I wanted to help you guys not fall into the same trap that I had. So that was 2020, and really the years since have been about paving the way for this moment, for the point at which I could say, I'm done. And part of that was getting my Officer of the Watch qualification. Of course, I was telling you, make sure you do your qualifications, do this as soon as possible, do that as soon as possible. I guess I was teaching the lessons that I needed to learn myself. A bit of a cliche, I know, but that's what we do, isn't it? That's what I was doing. And I was telling you to do that. Well, I jolly well had to get on and do it myself. So that was a good shove to push me in the direction of getting that qualification finally ticked off. And it was fantastic when I got it ticked off. That was at the end of 2021, November 21. But even then, having got the qualification and having started to look for other jobs, I was starting to think, I don't know if I want to go back to it. I'd had a couple of months out, and I was like, I really don't want to have to do this. But that was the problem. I felt like I had to do it. I didn't feel that I was at a secure point financially that I could just walk away from it and sort of take a break and work out what to do next. I had a mortgage to pay and all the rest of it. That weighed heavily on my mind. I think also the feeling that I hadn't done anything with the officers ticket, with the OW3000 ticket. You know, isn't that a bit of a shame to spend all that time to get that qualification and then not actually use it? And that's something that my mother actually said to me, and, you know, of course, you know, she's always right, isn't she? Yeah. She'll be watching that and thinking, yes, I am. No, you did good, Mum. She said to me, look, just go and see. Go and do summer 22. Just take a second officer's position and go and do it. Maybe it'll feel different. Maybe in that role, you'll be happier with it and you'll feel like carrying on. So, you know, I took that on board and I started looking for jobs again, and I started to get excited about it again. And obviously I took the job that I did. But, you know, just to fill you in on the fact that even then I was thinking, I'm not sure about this. But the job, I mean, it was a real roller coaster ride, let me tell you. It was a roller coaster ride that at many points I wanted to get off, but I couldn't. The roller coaster was just going, and I was on it, and it was happening. But I'm really pleased that it gave me so much experience, and, you know, having that promotion as well to Chief Officer. For those of you who are wondering, no, I don't have the Chief Mate 3000 ticket. I am an IYT Master of Yachts Unlimited course away from having that ticket, but I've got all the other courses. Obviously, I've got the OW3000, and we got a dispensation that so long as the yacht didn't go further than 60 nautical miles from shore, I was fine to serve as Chief Officer. Not going further than 60 miles from shore is quite typical on a motor yacht on a med season, because you're just obviously hopping from bay to bay and port to port, unless you start crossing the Med, the West Med. It's unlikely you're going to be further than 60 miles from shore. So I got that promotion, and again, that just gave me more experience and more reason to feel that, you know, I'd done it. So I'm actually very grateful for that. And then I think, you know, by the end of the summer, I think I might have had another season in me. The yacht that I was on was going back to the shipyard, so, you know, it was going to be a fairly quiet winter, and then one last summer season I thought I would manage this summer, and that would be it. But, as I mentioned before, I then met my now girlfriend in September, and, you know, that was a real game changer for me, because I was at a point in my life where all of a sudden that made sense, if you like, and it made sense to start focusing on that area of my life. As I say, 35 then, 36 next month, thinking about family, marriage. If I want to do that, then maybe now's sort of a good time to start thinking about it. And as I say, I met Adriana, and it's been great. And she's from Poland, and so during the winter, I was trying to get over to Poland at least once a month, just for a weekend. And I spent lots of time with her on my holiday as well. And it was on one of the flights back to the yacht in December that I'm sat in the departures lounge at Warsaw Airport, and I just suddenly thought, what am I doing? This is crazy. Why am I pursuing this lifestyle, which has been great up until now, but, you know, for a couple of years I've been feeling like it's not working for me anymore. And all of a sudden, I've got this wonderful relationship going on, and why am I compromising it? Why am I spending so much time away from her to continue with this career that's no longer working for me? And I suddenly looked at all of the reasons that I hadn't wanted to leave back in sort of 2020, 2021, which was not enough money. Well, say not enough money, but didn't feel financially stable. Well, that reason was gone. Very successful summer, the promotion, some good charter tips. All of a sudden, actually, I could always earn a bit more, but hey, I'm in a good position here. Other reasons that I didn't feel I wanted to leave: hadn't made use of the qualifications. Well, yes, I had used it. And I'd also, really confirmed to myself, no, this is not what I want to do anymore. There was sort of no part of my mind that was like, but maybe if you did it on a rotational basis, or on a this basis, or a that, or in this position, or on that yacht. That was all gone. It was just like, no, I am done. And it was just like, whew, and so then all of a sudden it was a very easy and simple decision. And that leads me to here. So that's the update. I guess it doesn't really fill you in on why I have been completely absent from social media for all of that time. That roller coaster ride of a summer season, I did not have any headspace for anything or anyone else, actually. I wasn't even in touch with my family. And I think everyone's different, but living that lifestyle and working in that way just completely consumes me. I know some people manage it better, but for me it just completely consumes me. I cannot seem to focus on anything outside of that big steel box that we're floating around in. All of my energy goes into the job. And that's actually a failing of mine. I recognize that, but I just didn't have any headspace for anything else. And of course, not being on YouTube for all of the summer, then into the winter, focusing on my relationship, reflecting on all of this stuff, not really wanting to make any more videos without sort of first having worked out where I'm at and what I'm doing, has, led me to basically be completely absent for a year. So I guess that leads me on to the last point of, well, what's next? Well, to be honest with you, I don't know exactly, but like I say, I'm in a good position. I've got now time to think about all of this stuff. The YouTube experience has been amazing, and it really has opened my eyes to what other opportunities are out there, both on this channel and, possibly something else. So what I'm thinking at this point is that I've still got a lot to offer this community. I've still got a lot to share with you about the yachting lifestyle in general. And also I think it can be valuable to you to, as you're going about your careers, think about, well, what is my exit plan? Maybe now you don't have an exit plan because you just think it's all great, but it's not a bad idea to think, hey, maybe in 5-10 years, how would I like to transition out of this? And you can start laying some groundwork now, so that when you finally have this feeling, and you will have it, you don't feel trapped. That instead you're able to think, no, I've laid the groundwork, I've got options. And if one of those options turns out to be, I want to stick with it, well, that's great. But at least you're sticking with yachting because you really want to, not because you feel you have to. And there's a huge difference between the two. So I think I've still got a lot to offer in that respect. So I'm going to continue sharing some of that sort of content on this channel. I'm also going to look at starting a channel just under my name, Matthew Taylor, because of course the problem I have on this channel is that really all I can talk about is yachts, or at least it only makes sense for me to talk about yachts on this channel. But believe it or not, I do have other interests. I do have other things that I'd like to explore, and I just want to show my work somewhere. Bring people along for the ride if they're interested, if they're thinking to do the same, whether they're trying to transition out of yachting or transition out of anything. You know, what are the other options? And just show you what I'm up to, how I'm doing it, and keeping you updated. So that's it. That's the update. Maybe I've rambled on a little bit too long, but for those of you who've been with me through this journey, again, a huge thank you to you. It's been a great journey, and it's been really great to have you along for the ride. As I say, it's not over. I'm still going to continue making videos, still keep you updated on what's going on, and once I've got the other channel sorted out, and I've got a few ideas straight in my head, I'll share a link to that, and if you are at all interested in what I do next, then please follow me over there. Once again, thank you so much. If you found some value in this video, as always, a like would be very much appreciated. It is still worth subscribing. As I say, there will still be more content, and I very much look forward to seeing you next time.